Hey guys, it's Chen. It's October once again, my favorite month of the year. It's my favorite because, well, fall is my favorite season. It's not too hot, it's not too cold, all the blood-sucking spawns of the devil start dying off. And of course, the holiday season kicks off with one of my favorite holidays, Halloween. And every year around this time, I'm working on a couple of ghost videos. And this year, while I was working on that, I came across this really interesting place. And that pretty much looks like the gates to hell. And before we get into that, I just want to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Audible, and we'll talk more about that at the end of the video. Anyway, back to this thing right here. Let me ask you guys, what if hell existed on Earth? And what if it's our fault? Now, this may sound like a very dramatic thing to say, but there is a real place, this place right here, that many think is worthy of the devil himself. And hell on Earth is precisely what people think of the legendary Darvaza gas crater, a nightmarish inferno created inadvertently by human interference. Located in the Karakum Desert in Central Asia, it even has the nickname of the Gateway to Hell. Now, if you're a Star Wars fan, it could be compared to the notorious Sarlacc pit, albeit one with, really hot breath. Also, you wouldn't really need to worry about being slowly digested, as you probably burn up in a matter of seconds. Anyway, enough of what the crater may be like. The crucial question is, why is it like that in the first place? And just how did the crater come to be ablaze? Well, it was all the fault of geologists who arrived from the Soviet Union in 1971. They were trying to drill for oil, but instead they made fire. A lot of fire. They knew something was wrong when the ground beneath them began to cave in, and the experts didn't realize it until it was too late, but they had set up operations in an unstable area containing an underground pocket packed with natural gas like methane. The ground was unable to cope with the weight of the equipment, and after what must have been a terrifying experience, the Darvaza crater had been born. It measured 230 feet wide and 65 feet deep, though some have claimed it's closer to 100 feet, and burns at a skin-frying temperature of 1,000 degrees Celsius. Now, with so much gas escaping and really no way to keep it under control, the geologists had an idea. Why not just set fire to the methane? And as risky as it sounds, it is the most effective method of ensuring natural gas doesn't escape into the air. And shockingly, it only takes 5% of methane to be present in the air before a reaction makes things go, well, boom. There are also further dangers in the effect that the gas has on oxygen. Natural gas pushes oxygen away, and as a result of the geologists' mistake, local wildlife was being killed off because, well, nothing could breathe. Also, if the air doesn't get you, the flames will. Speaking of wildlife, then this is something really crazy when the crater was set on fire. Spiders, a lot of spiders, they were attracted by the flame, they showed up from all directions and started to jump into the pit of fire. And I get that's probably a completely natural phenomenon, but if I'm there and I saw that, I'ma run it. Anyway, the Soviet team hoped that by lighting up the crater, the problem would be solved, and it certainly took care of the gas, but there was one serious problem. There's so much gas, the crater is still on fire today, 50 years later. And it's really tough to know what to do with this unusual local, I guess you can call this an attraction. A recommendation was made to fill it in a few years back, but so far this has not come to anything. In the meantime, tourists start showing up to the crater to check it out, trying to see it without burning their eyebrows off. And what's even more crazy was that back in 2015, a scientist named George Krunas went so far as to be lowered into the depths of the crater in order to collect soil samples. He was attached to ropes, wearing a heat-proof suit, and personally, I don't care if I was wearing that suit that Spock was wearing in Star Trek, I would not go down there. I mean, you got the crazy fire, you got the millions of ghost spiders, I mean, who knows what else is down there. But while it does sound more than a little insane to brave volcanic temperatures just for some dirt, there was serious purpose behind the descent. By studying soil in these extreme situations, Krunas hoped to gain an insight into whether life can exist under flesh-meltingly hot conditions. And a documentary was made of his exploits by the National Geographic Channel. So while it seems those Soviet geologists caused a major problem in the desert, there could be potential scientific benefits. I mean, a lot of great discoveries of the ages were made by accident, and apparently this is no exception. And maybe one day a practical solution will be found to the never-ending fire that rages at at the heart of the Darvaza crater, perhaps the biggest marshmallow roast in history. But until then, people from far and wide can enjoy this unique spectacle, which is a, I guess, natural wonder, even though it was made by us accidentally. And this is another one of those super interesting but borderline creepy sites, like the Eternal Fire of Centrella, Pennsylvania, and the Kola Super Deep Borehole, that are all caused by people, and they're all places that I'd never really ever want to be close to. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love giant holes in the ground. I love going to the Grand Canyon, but these places a little too Silent Hill-ish for me. But let me know what you guys think. Would you ever want to visit the Darvaza crater? And if you do, like, can you tell me in the comments below, like, what would you do there? Would you stand and just marvel at its hellish beauty, or take out a hot dog on a stick? Let me know. And guys, like I mentioned in the beginning, this video is sponsored by Audible. And Audible is a company I've worked with many times in the past, and I continue to work with them because this is a service that I actually personally enjoy almost on a daily basis. And if you guys don't know, Audible is a leading provider of premium digital spoken audio information and entertainment on the internet. Basically, they have a massive selection of audiobooks and other audio products. And like I said, this is a service I use all the time. That's why I partner with them quite a bit on my channels. So basically, I listen to audiobooks when I run, when I go to the gym, especially when I'm driving. Like, I live in the country, which is about 2 hours away from New York City, and I commute a lot when I'm filming videos. And I'm the type of person that I'll get sleepy within about 20 minutes of driving. And for me, music doesn't help, spraying water on myself doesn't help. And the only thing that keeps me awake, and I said this before, I'm 100% serious about this, is listening to something really interesting like an audiobook. And if you want a recommendation, because Halloween is coming up, and this is a little childish, but I love this series, it's the Night World series by LJ Smith. She's the author of The Vampire Diaries. You might have seen that show on the CW. Anyway, it's a fun series about werewolves, shapeshifters, humans, vampires all fall in love with each other. It's adorable. Anyway, you can get your first audiobook and choose 2 titles from a list of Audible Originals. And if you don't know what Audible Originals are, they're exclusive audio titles created by celebrated storytellers from all around the world, from all sorts of backgrounds like journalism and theater and much more. Anyway, like I was saying, you get a free audiobook and you get 2 titles from the list of Audible Originals for free when you try Audible for 30 days. And to access this deal, just go to audible.com/BeyondScience, where you can text Beyond Science to 500-500. Again, that's audible.com/BeyondScience, or texting Beyond Science to 500-500. Again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you later.